Hello students, today we will learn about formulas and function. One of the important attributes of Excel is its ability to perform calculations either using a formula or a function. In this chapter, you will learn the basics of formulas and functions and how can they be used in different scenarios. Formulas are the user-defined instructions to perform calculations, whereas functions are the predefined or inbuilt formulas that come with Excel. Let us first understand how to work with formulas. Formulas are used to perform calculations involving addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. A formula establishes a relationship between two or more cells. It is an expression that can include cell addresses, numbers, arithmetic operators, and parentheses. Using it, you can perform simple as well as complex calculations. Formula must begin with equal to symbol followed by cell references and operators. It may contain a few or all the below mentioned elements. References: a cell or a range of cells that you want to include in your calculation. Operators: symbols, plus, minus, multiplication, exponential, percentage, dollar, hash, etc. that specify the operation to be performed. Constants: numbers or text values that do not change. Functions: predefined formulas in Excel. Elements of formulas in Excel. Cell address, constant, equal to symbol. Mathematical operators. Function, range. Students, quickly recall in Microsoft Excel how do we define formulas. Now let me tell you how to use a basic formula. Basic formula involves only one type of operator in it. Let us use it to calculate the sum of the numbers in B4, B5 till B9 and display the result in B11. Follow the steps. Click on the cell B11 where you want to display the result and type equal to sign. Click on the cell B4. A dashed border called Mark U will appear around it. Its address will appear in the cell B11 and in the formula bar. This method of clicking on the cell to add its reference to a formula is called pointing. The status bar will display the status of point. Now type the plus symbol. Repeat the above steps till B9 or type B4 plus B5 plus B6 plus B7 plus B8 plus B9 in B11. You will notice the different color borders that appear around these cells. Press the Enter key. Cell B11 will display the total of the values from B4 to B9. Students note that to enter or modify a formula in a cell, you can also press F2 after selecting the cell. Any change that you make in data will be reflected in the formula result. To copy the formula to all cells in the selected range, press F2 and then press Ctrl plus Enter key. Now let me tell you how to use compound formula. Compound formulas are used when more than one operator is required to perform calculation. Let us use it to calculate the simple interest by using the formula P into R into T divided by 100. Enter the data as shown in the figure. Follow the given steps. Click on the cell B6 and type equal to. Click on the cell B2. The cell address of B2 appears in the cell B6. Again, type the symbol asterisk and click on the cell B3. Type the symbol asterisk in B6 and click on the cell B4. Now type the symbol division followed by 100 in the cell B6 and press the Enter key. The cell B6 displays the calculated simple interest. Note that the result appears in the cell but the actual formula is visible on the formula bar. Students note that to copy the formula from the above cell, press Ctrl plus apostrophe. Students note the fact, if we want to calculate the sum of multiple cells that are not in a range, separate each cell address by a comma. Example, equal to sum C4, C6, 08. Now let's learn how to use a range in formula. You can assign multiple cells to a formula by creating a range. Using range, you can save a lot of time. For example, if you want to calculate the sum of multiple columns or rows, it is always better to define a range. Type the data as shown in the figure. Click on the cell B11 and type the formula equal to sum B4 is to B9. Here sum is a built-in function of Excel that helps in adding up the numbers. Press the Enter key. The sum value will be displayed in the cell B11. Similarly, you can calculate the sum in the cell C11 by using the above-mentioned steps. Students, note that a range spans a group of cells adjacent to each other on a worksheet. The range can be used in formulas. Okay, now let us learn how to use formula on text. We can also perform addition on character and string data type. Except for addition, other operations like subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. are not allowed on the string data type. The ampersand symbol "and" is used to perform addition. Addition of two or more text values is called concatenation. Let us understand this with the help of an example. Enter any string type value in cell A1 and B1, say KIPS in A1 and India in B1. Enter the formula double quote in KIPS double quote close and double quote in India double quote close in cell C1 and press the Enter key. It will display KIPS India in cell C1. Students note that in the formula bar, type the text within double quotes in order to create a text value. If you want to leave a blank space after each word, then leave a space before closing the double inverted commas. For example, double quote in I double quote close and double quote in love double quote close and double quote in computer double quote close. I love computer. Alright, now let us discuss the types of cell references. The cell address in a formula is known as the cell reference. With the help of references, you can find the values or data in a worksheet that you want to use in formula. There are three types of cell references. Let's talk about the relative reference. When you create a formula, references to a cell or ranges are usually based on the position relative to the cell. When you copy the formula to other cells, the reference cell automatically gets changed. For example, if the formula in A3 is A1 plus A2 and you copy the formula from A3 to B3, Excel automatically changes the reference to match the location of cells, that is B1 plus B2. Let us learn it practically. Select the cell B11 in which formula sum bracket in B4 is to B9 bracket close is written. Click on the Copy button present in the Clipboard group on the Home tab. Now select C11 and click on the Paste button. Observe that the cell reference in C11 changes automatically from B4 is to B9 to C4 is to C9. Students know that you can also calculate the sum of the range by using the autofill handle plus. Select the cell B11 and using the autofill handle, drag it to C11. The sum of the range C4 is to C9 will be reflected in the cell C11. Let's find out about the absolute reference. Absolute reference is used when we do not want to change the address of the cell while copying the formula to another cell. To use absolute reference in a formula, you need to add $sign before the column and row number. For example, $A$1 plus $A$2 is an example of absolute reference. Let us calculate the incentive amount at the rate of 10% on monthly sales. Type 10% in the cell D1. Now click on the cell D4. Type B4 is to $D$1 and press the Enter key. The cell D4 displays the value 100. The first cell address B4 has no dollar sign, so it is relative reference, and the second cell address is fully absolute. Therefore, when the data of the cell is copied, the first cell reference changes accordingly in the new location, but the second one remains the same, that is $D$1. Now, copy the formula by dragging the mouse pointer to the rest of the cells. Now, let's talk about the mixed reference. It is a combination of relative and absolute reference. In this type of reference, either row or column has to remain fixed. $A1 plus $A2 is an example of mixed reference. Let us use this method to calculate the actual expenses. Type 50 in the cell D2. Click on the cell E4. Type $C4 minus D$2. Press the Enter key. You can further calculate the actual expenses for other cells by dragging the mouse pointer to the desired range when it changes to the cross symbol. Alright, now let us discuss about the circular reference. A circular reference occurs when a formula in a cell refers to its own cell value directly or indirectly. For example, if you enter the formula A1 plus A2 into 3 in cell A2, you are making the formula to refer to its own cell value, which is not possible. A warning, as shown in the figure given below, will be displayed in such a case. As soon as you click on the OK button of the warning dialog box, 0 will be returned in the cell containing formula. The status bar will also notify you that circular reference is found in the workbook and the address of that cell will be displayed on it. Now we shall talk about the cell reference of another worksheet. You can use the cell reference of one worksheet in another worksheet. This can be done in two ways. Students, let us understand how to copy-paste option. Click on the New Sheet button present to the right of the Sheet 1 tab at the bottom of the screen. A new worksheet with the name Sheet 2 will be added. Now enter the data as shown in the figure. Click on the Sheet 1 tab. Now click on the cell B11 where the sum function is used. Copy the formula using Ctrl+C. Click on the Sheet 2 tab. Click on the cell B11. Now, paste the formula using Ctrl+V. The cell will display the result of the formula, that is, summation of cell values. Okay, let us understand how to use sheet reference. In this method, we use sheet number, exclamation mark, and cell address to refer to a cell of a particular worksheet. For example, by writing sheet 1, exclamatory mark D4, comma, we are referring to the cell D4 of sheet 1. Let us try to use this method to calculate the total salary. Click on the cell C4 of sheet 2. Type B4 plus sheet 1 exclamatory mark D4 in it and press Enter. This will add the incentive amount present in the cell D4 of sheet 1 with the salary present in cell B4 of sheet 2. You can further calculate the total salary for other cells by dragging the mouse pointer to the rest of the cells when it changes to the cross symbol. Let me tell you that the easiest way to define names for cells is to click on the name box at the left end of the formula bar. Type a name for the range and press the Enter key. Okay, let's understand how to rename a worksheet. By default, the worksheets in a workbook are named as Sheet 1, Sheet 2, and so on. You can rename a worksheet in order to make it more relevant for users or readers. Usually, we name a worksheet considering the type of data it is holding. For example, if a worksheet contains daily attendance, you can name it as Attendance. Let us do it practically. Right-click on the Sheet 2 tab in the worksheet. A shortcut menu will appear. Click on the Rename option. The Sheet tab gets highlighted. Assign a new name for the sheet by typing on it, say KIPS, and press Enter. Note that the name of the sheet 2 gets changed to KIPS. Now let's talk about how to change color of a sheet tab. Right-click on any sheet tab and select Tab Color option from the shortcut menu. Select any color from the display choices and observe the change. Alright, now let us understand about functions. Functions are the pre-designed formulas in Excel to perform both simple and complex calculations. Functions save time and eliminate the chance to write wrong formulas. They accept arguments and return values. Arguments contain the information you want to calculate. Arguments are the input values to functions. The values are given within parentheses. Arguments can be numbers, text, etc. and are enclosed within parentheses. Function begin with the equal to sign followed by the function name and then the list of arguments separated by comma within the parentheses. For example, semicolon equals to function name, argument 1, comma, argument 2. Okay, let us now find out rules to enter a function. All Excel functions must begin with equal to sign. Function name must be a valid Excel name. For example, sum, average. Function name must be followed by an opening and closing parenthesis. Arguments are enclosed in the parentheses. For example, equal to sum, bracket in A1 is to A5, bracket close. Okay, students, let's know more. Microsoft Excel follows the BEDMAS rule to evaluate the mathematical expression. Excel uses this method automatically when a formula contains more than one operator. Now we shall talk about the common functions. Auto sum. The auto sum option, besides being the common and the fastest way to find out the total of the given numbers in a range, can also be used to carry out different functions like average, count, maximum, minimum, etc. You can find this option at two places. In the editing group on the Home tab, in the function library group on the Formula tab. Let us use this feature to calculate the total of the marks obtained by Anuj. Click on the cell E6 where you want to place the total of the marks. Click on the Auto Sum option present in the editing group on the Home tab. A dash border appears around C6 through D6 and Excel automatically enters the formula that uses the sum function in the cell E6. Now press Enter. The cell E6 will display the result. Let me share an interesting fact with you. To get the total of adjacent cells, press Alt plus equal key combination instead of clicking the Auto Sum button. The common functions like sum, average, count numbers, maximum, minimum can be used using drop-down arrow of Auto Sum button. To use other functions, click on More Functions option. Average. The average function returns the average of range values. The arguments can be a range of cells, simply numbers or numbers along with the cell references. Using the worksheet shown in figure, let us calculate the average of marks obtained by Anuj. Click on the cell where you want to place the average of values, let us say F6. Type equal to sign followed by the name of the function, that is average. Put the opening parenthesis symbol. Select the cell C6 through D6 to define the range of the cells. Put the closing parenthesis symbol and press the Enter key. The cell F6 will display the average of marks obtained by Anuj. Maximum. It is used to find the largest value in the given range. Click on the cell F4 and type maximum B4 is to E4 and press the Enter key. The maximum value in the range B4 is to E4 will be displayed in the cell F4. Similarly, minimum and count function can be applied to a range of cells. Students note the above mentioned functions are available in Excel 2013 also. Let me give you a tip. We can also carry out the above functions using the AutoSum feature. To do so, select the cell wherein you want to display the output of the functions. Click on the drop-down arrow of the AutoSum option and choose the desired function from the displayed list. Another amazing way to perform quick calculation is to use Quick Analysis tool. It helps you to implement functions such as sum, average, count, etc. To use this tool, select the range of cells on which you want to apply the function. Click the Quick Analysis button present at the bottom right corner of the selection. Select totals from the displayed list of the tools and choose the desired function. Today. It is used to display the current date. Type equal to today main in the cell and press the enter key. The today main function will display the current date in the selected cell. Students, let me share some interesting shortcut tips with you. Similarly, you can insert the current day, month and year in a cell to display the values in number form. For month, month today. For year, year today. For day, day today. To display the values in text form. For month, text today. Double quoted MMMM, double quote close. For day, text today, comma, double quoted DD, double quote close. For year, text today, comma, double quoted YYYY, double quote close. 1. Sum range gives the sum of a range. Number 2. Average range finds the average of a range. Number 3. Odd number returns the number rounded up to the nearest odd integer. Number 4. INT number rounds a number to the nearest integer. Number 5. Product range multiplies the values in a range of cells. Number 6. Round number underscore digit rounds a number to the specified digits. Number 7. EXP number returns natural algorithm raised to the power of a number. Number 8. SQRT number returns a square root. Number 9. Power number returns the result of a number raised to some power. Number 10. Mod number divisor returns the remainder after a number is divided by the divisor. Let us now talk about the function library. There are many functions defined in Excel, and it is beyond the capacity of a person to remember the name and functionality of each one of them. To overcome it, Excel has clubbed all the functions in the Function Library group of Formulas tab. Here, the worksheet functions are categorized by their functionality, like math and trig, text, date and time, etc. You can click a category to browse its functions. Let us discuss two common functions in the math and trig category, LCM and GCD. LCM. This function returns the least common multiple of integers. The least common multiple is the smallest positive integer that is a multiple of all the numbers supplied as arguments. Let us use this function. Open a new worksheet. Enter 3 integers in cells A1, A2 and A3. Now select the cell A4 where the LCM of these numbers will be displayed. Click on the Math and Trig drop-down button in the Function Library on the Formulas tab and choose LCM from the displayed list of options. The Function Arguments dialog box appears. Type the cell address in the respective text boxes, that is A1, A2, A3 in the number 1, number 2 and number 3 text boxes respectively. Note that the result of the formula appears near the bottom of the dialog box. Click OK. The output will appear in the cell A4. GCD. This function calculates the greatest common divisor or highest common factor of two or more integers. The greatest common divisor is the largest positive integer that divides the numbers without a remainder. Let us calculate GCD of three numbers. Enter three integers in cells A1, A2 and A3. Now select the cell A4 where the GCD of these numbers will be displayed. Click on the Math and Trig drop-down button in the function library on the Formulas tab and choose GCD from the displayed list of options. The function arguments dialog box appears. Type A1, A2 and A3 in number 1, number 2 and number 3 text boxes respectively. Observe that the result of the formula appears near the bottom of the dialog box. Click OK. The output will appear in the cell A4. Let me tell you how to insert function. The insert function is one of the options in the function library group which helps us in creating a formula. Let us explore this option. Click on the cell in which you want to enter a formula. Click the Insert Function button present on the Formulas tab. Or click on the Insert Function FX button present on the formula bar. Either of these will launch the Insert Function dialog box and an equal to sign will be placed in the cell. In the Insert Function dialog box, you can search for a function by typing a brief description of what you want to do in Search for a Function text box, in case you do not remember the name of the function. For example, add numbers, return some function. In the Or Select a Category text box, you can select the category of the function like Math and Trig for GCD function. If you're not familiar with the categories, you can select All, which will display an alphabetic list of all the functions in the Select a Function list box. Select the desired function from the displayed list and then click OK. This will open the function arguments dialog box wherein you will enter the cell references or values and then click on OK to get the result of the selected function. Okay students, now we will discuss formula errors. In Microsoft Excel, if any formula is entered incorrectly, then Excel displays an error message rather than the proper value. It also assists you in identifying and fixing the problem. Some of the common errors along with their possible reasons are listed below. This error occurs if the column is not having enough space to accommodate the value. It occurs if the formula is used incorrectly. It occurs if the formula contains an invalid argument. This error occurs if the number is divided by a zero or an empty cell. Let us quickly glance through the key points discussed in this chapter. Formulas are used to perform calculations involving addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. It is an expression that can include cell addresses, numbers, arithmetic operators, and parentheses. The cell address in the formula is known as cell reference. There are three types of cell references: relative, absolute, and mixed. Circular reference occurs when a formula in a cell refers to its own cell directly or indirectly. You can assign multiple cells to a formula by creating a reference or a range. Functions are pre-designed formulas in Excel to perform both simple and complex calculations. The insert function is one of the options in the function library group which helps us in creating a formula. In Microsoft Excel, if any formula is entered incorrectly, then Excel displays an error message instead of the value and assists you in identifying and fixing the problem.